Hi, I'm Jennifer Degler. I'm a member at Emmanuel, and this is a devotion about how Jesus wants us to live with Him in today instead of worrying about a fearful future. Let me read for you Matthew 6:25. It says, "Therefore I tell you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat or drink, or about your body, what you will wear. Is not life more important than food, and the body more important than clothes?" And then skip down to Matthew 6:34, where it says, "Therefore do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own." You know, Jesus is not saying here that we should not be concerned about what we eat or what we do with our bodies. We know other scriptures say that our body is a temple, and that we are to dress modestly. But he is saying in verse 25, don't worry about what you will wear. Don't worry about what you will eat. It's future oriented. He's saying don't live in an anxious future. And that's where worry lives, in the land of what if, instead of the land of what is. You know, it's that anticipatory anxiety. And oftentimes that's worse. The anticipation of what might happen is worse than actually really going through the thing that we're worrying about. How many days can you live in at a time? Just one. And that's what Jesus is teaching us here in Matthew. He's saying you can only live in today. But when you begin to worry, then anxiety will pull you out of today, and it will pull you into living into that scary land of what if. You see, worry tricks us into living in the land of what if instead of living in the land of what is. And Jesus knew when we began to do that, we would take our concerns of today and we would put them in an enlarging machine in our head, and then we would begin to catastrophize about tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. And then we begin to feel awful. We lose our joy, and our fear gets bigger than our faith. And when our fear gets bigger than our faith, then God gets smaller and smaller. When we live in today with Jesus, Jesus is big. He's bigger than all of our problems. But when we begin to just worry into the future, then Jesus gets very small. He's a very small character in that scary story you may be telling yourself about what your future is going to look like. So whatever your concerns are of today, Jesus is not making light of them. He's not saying they're no big deal. In John 16:33, Jesus said, "In this world you will have trouble, but take heart. I have overcome the world." Jesus is saying, don't worry about your troubles. It's okay to be concerned about your troubles, but don't worry about your troubles. So what's the difference between concern and worry? Well, this would be a concern. If this is your situation today, then this is a concern that you're out of toilet paper. But you see, Jesus knew that so many of us today, this is where we're actually at. But you see, when we begin to worry that we might be here, then all of a sudden concern turns into worry, and our minds are hijacked, and our fear grows, and we begin to act as if this is our situation today, when this is our situation today. So Jesus invites us, live with me in today. Today, you're warm, you're fed, you're dry, you're okay. And you know, only God can live outside of time. And so Jesus is already in your future. He's already taking care of you tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. He's making sure you're going to have enough toilet paper. He's taking care of you. And so he invites you, live in today with me. That's where you will find the peace that passes all understanding. It's when you live in today with Jesus.